Some moments in sports go beyond competition. They're pure disrespect, from taunting opponents to humiliating moves that left crowds gasping. These plays weren't about winning, they were about sending a message. And trust me, the players on the other side never forgot. These clips will make your jaw drop. Some plays are smooth, some are smart. But then there are moments where players don't care about the rules, the respect, or the feelings. They just want to humiliate the other guy. Let's start with Allen Iverson stepping over Tyronn Lue. Game 1 of the 2001 Finals. Iverson was on fire, cooking the Lakers all night. Then he hits a nasty jumper right over Lue. But that wasn't enough. He casually steps over him, chest up, face cold. That move wasn't just disrespectful, it was straight up personal. But if we're talking about disrespect, we can't ignore Dillon Brooks versus LeBron James. Brooks had the nerve to call LeBron old in the middle of a playoff series.
Dan, what were you thinking?
I don't care, he's old.
Brooks even hit LeBron below the belt in game. The result? LeBron torched him. The Lakers embarrassed the Grizzlies, and Brooks was left speechless. Literally, he walked out of the locker room without talking to reporters. That's what happens when you poke the bear and get destroyed. And speaking of getting torched, Kobe Bryant once dropped 81 points on Jalen Rose and the Raptors. But it wasn't just the buckets, it was how he did it. Pull-ups in traffic, turnarounds in your face, fadeaways over double teams. Kobe didn't smile, he didn't celebrate. He just looked at the Raptors like they were trash. 81 points and not a single ounce of mercy. That's not just greatness, that's disrespect in its purest form.
How many olives would you like? 81.
Then we got Lance Stevenson blowing in LeBron's ear. Yes, that actually happened. LeBron just laughed, but the rest of us? We were all thinking, what is this guy doing? That was psychological warfare at its weirdest. But sometimes disrespect is loud and violent. Shaq dunking on Chris Dudley and then shoving him to the ground like a rag doll. After the play, Dudley tossed the ball at Shaq in frustration. Can you blame him? He just got dunked on, shoved to the floor, and humiliated on national TV. That moment was so disrespectful. It's still one of the most replayed highlights in NBA history. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, Draymond Green stomped on Demetrious Sabonis in the 2023 playoffs. Sabonis was on the floor. Draymond stepped on his chest on purpose, then acted like he was the victim. He even hyped up the crowd afterward. That wasn't just dirty, that was a whole new level of disrespect. But don't get too comfortable, because next up is a moment that had a player laughing in his defender's face after ending his career with a single move. You thought stepping over someone was disrespectful? Try staring into their soul after ending their career. That's exactly what James Harden did to Wesley Johnson. It was a regular season game, but what Harden pulled off wasn't regular at all. He crossed Johnson so bad the man fell flat on the floor, completely frozen. But Harden didn't shoot right away. He stared at him. Let him think about his life for a second. Then hit the three. Cold, ruthless, pure disrespect. And it's not just basketball. Let's head over to football, where Marshawn Lynch pulled off one of the most disrespectful runs in NFL history. Seahawks versus Saints. Lynch broke like 10 tackles on his way to the end zone. But the icing on the cake? As he ran in, he grabbed his crotch and jumped backward into the end zone. In a playoff game. That wasn't celebration. That was a straight-up insult to an entire defense. But back to the NBA, where Damian Lillard hit a shot that ended a franchise. 2019 playoffs, Game 5 versus the Thunder. Tie game. Lillard steps back from 40 feet over Paul George. Bang. Game. Series. And then the stare. No celebration, no smile. Just wave goodbye to OKC like they were nothing. That wasn't just a buzzer beater. That was a funeral. Then you've got Michael Jordan, the king of disrespect. He used to tell players exactly what he was about to do, then do it right in their face. But one of his most savage moments? When he dropped 55 points on the Knicks at Madison Square Garden, after retiring for 18 months. The man walked back into the league and told New York, "I'm still better than all of you." They couldn't stop him, and he let them know it every time he scored. Over in soccer, Lionel Messi had his own disrespectful moment in El Clasico. Barcelona versus Real Madrid. Last-minute goal. Messi rips off his jersey and holds it up to the Madrid crowd. Like, remember this name. It's booing in shock. And then there's Russell Westbrook, who's built a career out of disrespect. But the moment that stands out, when he rocked the baby after scoring on a smaller defender. It wasn't subtle. He looked right at his opponent, cradled the air like a newborn, and walked off. Message received. You're too small to guard me. Still think you've seen the worst of it? Because the next moment was so disrespectful, it made the opposing coach lose his mind. And it wasn't just about basketball anymore. If you thought rocking the baby was bad, wait until you see a player talk trash while dunking on someone's head. That's exactly what Vince Carter did in the Olympics. Playing for Team USA against France, Carter jumped over a 7-footer, literally cleared him, and slammed it home. But he didn't just walk away. He barked in his face, letting the world know, "This is mine." That wasn't just a dunk. That was pure humiliation on an international stage. But basketball doesn't own all the savage moments. In the NFL, Terrell Owens might be the king of disrespect. After scoring a touchdown against the Cowboys, he sprinted to midfield, stood on the Dallas Star, and raised his arms like a champion. Cowboys players ran in and hit him, but the damage was done. Then he did it again later in the game. Disrespecting the entire stadium twice in one night? That's legendary disrespect. Let's not forget Conor McGregor in UFC. This man doesn't just fight. He disrespects his opponents before, during, and after. From mocking Jose Aldo's size and power before knocking him out in 13 seconds, to taunting Dustin Poirier mid-fight, McGregor doesn't hold back. He laughs at punches, throws wild trash talk, and sometimes even mocks how opponents fall. Love him or hate him, nobody brings more savage disrespect to a fight. Back in the NBA, Gary Payton made a career out of talking constant trash. But the worst moment? When he told an opponent mid-game, "You don't belong in the league," and then backed it up by locking him down on defense. Payton didn't just play. He made sure you remembered him with every word, every glare, every single bucket. And how about Cristiano Ronaldo, another soccer legend? After scoring a hat trick against Atletico Madrid, he mocked their fans by copying their coach's rude gesture from a previous match. He didn't just win the game, he owned the entire stadium. He stared into the crowd, did the motion, and walked off like he ruled the world. The fans were furious, but Ronaldo didn't care. That's what disrespect looks like on the biggest stage. And now, we wrap with something that made everyone watching stop and go, "No way." Steph Curry, one of the nicest guys in the league, turned savage in a game against the Clippers. He crossed up 2 defenders, spun around, and hit a deep 3, then turned around before the shot even went in. That's confidence. That's showmanship. But mostly, that's disrespect. He didn't even wait to see the shot drop. He knew. And that's the thing. In sports, respect is earned. But sometimes, players don't care. They want to embarrass you, step over you, mock your team, and leave you staring at the scoreboard, wondering what just happened. Moments like these? They're not just highlights. They're warnings.